Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Today we're going to do something a little unorthodox. We're going to do a speed steel run. Yeah, or maybe a steel speed run. I don't know which way sounds better. But you can see we're at cycle 1821 with Primus. We're starting to wrap up the end game there, and the episodes are taking a long time in between. So I figured I'd try to figure out a shorter episode or something that doesn't take quite as long. And then I started thinking of different challenges, and something that I always thought was fun is how fast can you get to steel? So what we're going to do to make this challenge completely legit, we're going to make sure all the mods are off. We want to make sure everything's legit. We'll restart it. All right, here we go. And the reason why we turn the mods off is that way there's no sort of little advantage you can take here or there. And when other people try to do the challenge, you know, everything's on the straight and narrow. So we'll go into a new game. Of course, it's survival. We're going to do spaced out because I don't feel like dealing with the whole restarting and all that. For the first time, we're just going to do this normal Terra cluster. And so that you know I'm not trying to game the game, we are going to re-roll this seed just a bunch of times. I'm going to keep clicking in 3, 2, and 1. And then hit start game. For our dupes, we're really going to try to give ourselves the best advantage we can. I want to find 2 awesome diggers and an awesome researcher. The faster they can dig, the faster we can research, the faster we'll be able to get to that beautiful steel. All right, this is what we're going to go with. One of the great things about doing a challenge like this is it allows you to think outside the box a little bit. For instance, Catalina here is a +10 excavator. She's also handy with the construction, but she's flatulent. Normally we'd be like, no, we don't want a bunch of natural gas everywhere. Now, I just don't care, because we're only bringing this colony up to where we can get steel. After that, we don't care. So we don't care about the long-term effects of having natural gas all over your base. Likewise with Nicola. Nicola's allergic to the floral scent. Don't care, because they have a +9 to excavation and they're a little buff. Now Frankie here has +12 to science and twinkle toes, which is great. They are a mouth breather, which normally we'd be like, oh no, but again, don't care. Let's go embark and see where we are. All right, an immediate pause here, and let's get a lay of the land. I'm really excited about this run because we're going to get to do so many things that we normally just wouldn't do. And wow, was it great to have a camera to just move so freely. Our Primus colony is getting pretty slow. The only thing I really see of interest is the 2 water sources. Unfortunately, they're a bit lower, but we will make use of that by, as we're digging down to go look for that beautiful iron ore, we can just on the way tap into this water. We're also going to do everything we can to cut corners. For instance, I'm not even worrying about a food source. I'm hoping we're going to be digging fast enough that we're just going to be able to live off the muckroot. Like I was saying before, I was really excited about getting to think outside the box and really trying to reinvent the way we play. For instance, I was wondering, are we even going to use cots and bathrooms? I mean, it's not such a big deal if the dupes urinate everywhere. I'm not really concerned about that, but then you still have to be a little bit concerned about the stress levels. So I think we are going to do some cots, and I think we are going to do a small bathroom setup, but only for this a little bit of morale we need to make sure that they have all the digging skills and the research skills they need. All right, let's get started. Now we're going to do most of this in pause mode because we really want to capitalize on everything we can. I see some sandstone here, which is great. Where does that light extend? Right here, so the first cot can be here. All right, so we will dig these out, these 2 out, and these 2 out with a door going right here. I think we're going to put the ladder segment right here. No, it's got to be over a little bit further because this sand will make this pond go splash. All right, so I think the ladder segment goes here. So one person can dig that up. And then as soon as we get some sandstone, we can continue. All right, we've got a little bit of sandstone already. Let's go placing down our beautiful cots and throwing down the ladder already. Normally we'd dig 4 tiles out, but I think that's just a waste of time. Now we don't have any metal ore yet. We're going to have to grab some metal ore on the way. And we're also going to set up the research facility just 1 tile lower. Lots of algae here. Eventually, we'll have to put an algae distiller. All right, as soon as Frankie's done with this, he's going to be bored because only one person can dig at a time. So I think it's time. Actually, Frankie can grab this copper ore right here. So we'll put some regular tiles here. Grab that copper ore, and that'll be good to put the door here for this minimalist bit of morale for a barracks. And then we can start building out the small area for research and bathrooms. Bathrooms are 3 tiles high, and the washrooms... I think we're going to put our latrine here. Outhouses are 3 tiles high, and I believe so are wash basins. Yes. So what we're going to do is we'll just throw down the wash basins here. Actually, no, we need 1 room for the door. So we can dig out there. And then we can go wash basin, outhouse, outhouse. All right, and it looks like Frankie has dug up that little bit of copper, so we do have access to a door. We'll put that door there. We're also going to need to plan access to the water here, so I think we'll go right here. And then throw down our beautiful pitcher pump. There is a little bit more copper ore that we're going to get here, which is great. Which brings up a good point. Normally, we're digging all over the place. So we'd be going to get this copper ore as needed. So we would naturally just have a ton of copper ore, a ton of coal, and everything of the like. But in a speed run, we're really trying to be strategic with where we dig. We don't want any unnecessary digging because that just wastes time. I think in this message the dupes are telling us something. There's no water resource. I think they're saying there's not enough resources for this. And we will eventually have the water for that, but I've never really noticed this symbol here. Pretty cool. Since they're finishing that up, I think it's time for us to put in our research area. Now, the research area does not need to be walled in. We only need enough room for a wheel, a battery, probably eventually a jumbo battery, because that would save a lot of time from the dupes having to run on the wheel. So we'll say dupe wheel there, single battery. We're not going to waste time removing the single battery. We'll just end up putting the jumbo battery here. And then we can put the research station right here. We already have enough materials for the wire, so we can just go straight across. And eventually our supercomputer will go here. Actually, we may put the supercomputer here because it'll be closer to the water. We do have enough copper to close in this latrine as well. All right, get to work, dupes. Make sure they don't waste time trying to wash their hands going to the right. Turn these on the left. Since we're discovering so many new resources, I'd like to set our resource area up. I need to make sure that we are going to have enough copper ore. That'll be critical, so we'll keep that up. We're going to need coal for some coal generators. We don't have any yet. Muckroot is going to be very important because we don't want to have to plant food, so we're going to keep an eye on muckroot. Algae, because it's going to be our source of oxygen, and probably sandstone, but I don't think we're ever going to have a problem finding enough sandstone. Even with the little digging we've done, we've already have 8.7 tons. Since we're thinking about it, let's also adjust the schedules. Sorry, guys, but you're not getting any downtime. We're going to deal with that, and we're going to remove the 1 bedtime slot that is very typical and make sure that you have the bath time there. We're going to see if there's any sort of stress issues. I don't think there will. Little things that we have to keep in mind that may actually help improve the speed of our run is every time they get sopping wet, they lose some athletics. We don't want them to lose that athletics. Pay particular attention to what we do. We may take the opportunity to dig out some of these buried objects while we're over there. So I'm going to choose to dig this one out. Specifically because, A, it's going to give us a little bit more dirt for the bathrooms, but also because there may be muckroot in there. Something I realized I should have paid attention to is you always want a good vent shaft. That way the oxygen can get down there and the carbon dioxide can float down there. And I didn't build enough room for a vent shaft here. So eventually I think we're going to need to get an airflow tile, and I think we'll make the vent shaft down this way. I don't love having to do the extra digging, but I think it's necessary for the purposes of that oxygen flow. Because right now, for instance, Frankie is holding his breath. So Is Frankie a boy or a girl? Oh, Frankie's a gender X. Neither boy or girl. An X dupe. So Frankie right now is holding their breath. So they will stop digging and building and go up to rebreathe. And that's only slowing us down. So we'll add some digging in here. Okay, that'll work. Oh, there's a buried object. We'll grab that one too. Continue on, my faithful dupes. Now, I don't think we're going to do a mess hall. We're going to check and see what the disadvantage about eating on the ground is. I don't think it's too bad. We'll play that one by ear. Oh, there's some more beautiful muckroot, just as we suspected. It looks like they are nearing the end of this, so I think it is time to further our ladder rung. Again, we are going to look for the iron ore. That brings up a good point, and we'll go to the star map to explain this one. Now, we know there's only a certain amount of biomes in each planetoid, so you got to identify which biomes are going to have that iron ore. In our case, I think the barren biome and maybe the jungle biome does. I know the caustic biome does, but we don't have a caustic biome here. That's the one with all the salt water and stuff. But I think our best bet is going to be jungle and barren. There might be some down towards the magma biome if there's some oil there. Either way, we're going to take a look until we can see on the map anything that we would recognize. We already have a decent amount of vision going down here, and I don't see anything here. But we need to keep an eye out. We did dig further over here too, so we might have revealed some more. I can't believe we haven't gotten any coal yet. We're definitely going to... Oh, look at this. It's iron ore. All right, this is definitely what we need. Is there any coal around here? Let's go to the materials overlay. And there's coal right here. There's also coal over here. I don't think we needed... What is it? Oh, there's a ton of coal over here as well. I don't think we're going to need to dig as far down now. In fact, let's just set up a small carbon sink. There's a lot of algae here and a couple more buried objects, so I don't think we're going to go any further than that. So let's cancel this here, and then we'll dig out this for the carbon dioxide sink. We'll start with just 2. We'll try to get away with just 2. I don't know if that's going to be enough. But now we need to start digging up and over. Now, our dupes are not going to have the skills yet to get through the abyssalite. You can see by just clicking a dig command, we need level 2 digging to get through abyssalite. So I don't think this is be the way to get in there. But we can get in through here. So maybe up and over is the best call. We're going to dig over here. We're going to grab this little bit of coal. You may be wondering why we need the coal, and we will get to that point as soon as the research table is done and I can show you some more of the details. Digging into this cavern will also have the advantage of releasing all this nice oxygen. Some of it's kind of compressed too, already at 4 kilos. Ooh, a mistake. This has kind of slowed us down in the wrong direction. We didn't dig these out, so they didn't have access to the research station. I'm wondering how many ticks that cost us. As soon as you can get the research station up, as soon as you can bring that research, and I think the research is going to be what costs us the most time. Here's a perfect example. Nicole is sitting here catching his breath. That is not good. We're going to put a algae distiller here, which that generates a couple of other questions. In a normal game, you put a storage bin next to the algae distiller so the dupes don't have to run as far. But then that would cause the dupes to continuously have to pick up algae and put it in the algae distiller, and I don't know if that juice is worth the squeeze. Of course, we're done digging down here, so I don't think we'd put an oxygen diffuser. I kept saying algae distiller. I don't think we'd put an oxygen diffuser here anyways. The only time the dupes are going to have to come down here is to grab the pitcher pump. I wonder if we can release this little bit of oxygen. Can they reach these two by standing on the pitcher pump? I think they can. Because our water source was so far away and we're going in 15 different directions, we haven't actually got the pitcher pump as early as we normally do. But the good news is the research station just finished, so we can queue up that research. And again, another great opportunity to think outside the box and really leverage your Oni skills. We don't even want to get basic farming. Now, we may decide afterwards, like, hey, we're running out of muckroot, we need to plant some mealwood. But for right now, we need to look at the critical components in order it takes to refine steel. Well, we know it requires a kiln because we need refined carbon, which requires coal. And then it requires our metal refinery. And remember, the components for refining steel are lime, refined carbon, and iron. So we will need a rock crusher, which is on the way for the kiln. So that doesn't cost us any extra time. And the reason why you need the rock crusher is because you need to be able to get rid of the eggs, get enough lime. Remember, the goal is just one piece of steel. That's when we call it. One piece of steel. So we don't need much lime, but we will need to find some eggs to break open to grab that little bit of lime. We are also going to need the advanced research because we're going to need to be able to research over into smelting. We are going to need some liquid pipes eventually. I think what we'll do is we will start by grabbing the advanced research, and then we'll go straight into brute force refinement so we can get the rock crusher up. We can have the iron ready to go and not even have to use the metal refinery in order to get iron ore to iron. The last thing we should do is be putting down a metal refinery, and as soon as we do, creating one piece of steel. We have our research queued up, but we need to make sure our researcher is only doing research. So we're going to put that on a double priority there. We're also going to enable proximity, so the dupes try to knock out as many tasks in one area so they don't have to make a bunch of back and forth trips. I'm going to leave everything else flat because we're going to need Catalina and Nicola to do everything else. And considering we're going to be waiting on Frankie to do the research, I don't think we have to prioritize, say, digging or building. All right, Nicola's breaking into this little area, which will help the oxygen flow down here. So hopefully they stop just waiting. They're also filling up the wash basins, and I think it's time for us to dig up. Now, in a normal game, we are nice and tidy, and we go straight up and then over. But I don't know if that's the best method. Remember, the fastest way to get between 2 points is in a straight line, so we're definitely not going to be going up and over this time. We will start by building up, and then we can do some of our diagonal building. And this way, they don't even have to build ladders. We're kind of building the ladders ourselves. One more, and then we can go straight over. There is granite in between, not a big deal. We could go up and over, couldn't we? No, there's a little bit of granite there too. But I think by then, somebody will have skilled up and we can throw them into hard digging. I never realized bleach stone was very firm. Good to know. To save ourselves on that, we will just build 2 ladders here, and that way they can hop up here and go down here and grab the iron. All right, Frankie, we're kind of waiting on you. Now, while they're doing this, it's time for us to plan where we're actually going to do the metal refining. We're going to need an area for our kiln and for a coolant. I dare say we're going to try to use water as a coolant, which is something I've never tried before, and it may actually just blow up in my face. I'd rather use the polluted water, but that would require more digging and going elsewhere. So we're going to core this little area out to set up our kilns and everything else. We are going to set up some lower priority dig commands to get this area ready. I don't want to core out more than I have to, so I think this will be good. This area will be good for the metal refinery. We'll put the kiln next to it. All right, we've completed our first piece of research. Now we're going into advanced research. That's not bad. We've finished our first research before cycle 1 is done. Which brings up the question of oxygen flow again, though. Because if we're going to be doing the work down here, we might need that stable source of oxygen. So at least they don't have to stop, hold their breath, and go back. There's a little bit in here, but not enough. So I think we are going to put an oxygen diffuser right here, which will require a power line. And to make sure that the oxygen can flow this way as well, we are going to dig out a couple of additional tiles here. So right now we're using the single battery. And I've already had thoughts that maybe should we detract from our research to go grab jumbo battery. And that way they spend less time running. You may be thinking to yourself, well, just throw down another regular battery. Well, that's the deal. Jumbo batteries actually lose power slower than single batteries. The power leakage on a regular battery is 1 kilo per cycle. But to save ourselves the research time, I think it actually makes sense to just throw down another single battery. To avoid our dupes having to wait around, we're definitely going to need ladders across this area where we're doing our refining. We're also going to need an area to put our pump. So what I think we're going to do is build down here. And eventually we're going to build the liquid pump here. I was considering moving the hot liquid elsewhere, but then I realized, oh, we only want enough coolant for one run. So I don't even think we need to build down here as much. We can literally put the liquid pump right here. All right, unfortunately, we're getting to the area where we need the skill points. Let's check and see where we are on that front. 705. Yeah, this is going to take a minute. So let's do some additional digging. Guess we can dig out this area while we're waiting for that skill point. Is there any other way to get around this? Yeah, this is all granite, so we can't get through there. You know, this might be the case of us taking the first duplicant that comes out of the pod and putting him into digging. In fact, we can also be ready for that duplicant by putting another cot. All right, so in this case, check this out. We have Frankie stopped researching to go do power stuff. We don't want that. So we're going to go on priorities and put Nicola on operating as a priority. And make sure that Frankie is saying no to operating. With that, we will move back here so he's more prone to do that. And you can stay here to get ready to continue to research. Nobody, you're going over here. There you go. I was looking again at the research tab, wondering if it would make sense to go get that jumbo battery. I really hate the single batteries, but then I realized we're going to be spending a lot of time getting up to smelting. And this is time that the other dupes aren't going to have much else to do. So I think we're actually going to leave the single batteries. I mean, there's nothing else for them to do, so they might as well run on the wheel. Research is just completed. You can see Frankie is still celebrating. We're instantly going to put down the supercomputer. I think we just said we weren't going to put it here because it'd be further away. But now I'm wondering, if we did put it here, then Frankie would have to run back and forth between the two research areas. So I think we are going to put it right here. Also connect it with some power, and then head back to the research screen and say, hey, now we want brute force refinement. In fact, we can just click on smelting and he'll just keep going. Now the question is, where are we going to get this lime? This hatch is age 75, which makes me worried they've already produced an egg and that we don't have access to it. To kind of help us identify when there is an egg available, we're going to put check marks and pin all of the eggs that we'll possibly be able to grab. So as soon as they pop up, we'll have a better chance of seeing that there's one there, and we can throw it into an egg cracker. Which reminds me, if that's the case, we'd need to get meal preparation to grab the egg cracker instead of waiting for the egg to incubate. We'll see, because I have a feeling we're going to be done with smelting fairly quick, but we'll see how that goes. Of course, since it looks like we're going to be waiting for eggs anyways, I think it makes sense to grab the jumbo battery and go straight into coal generation, because it would be much better to power our metal refinery with coal generators than it would be by dupe wheel. So we'll definitely add that to the research queue. We're also going to up priority Catalina on supplying, and that way they'll continuously supply the research station and the supercomputer. Man, we are learning so much in this different type of playing. As a reminder, you actually need an ability to do advanced research. So Frankie's not going to be able to begin that until they get their skill up, which is still a whiles away. So as soon as they are done with brute force refinement, we might as well go into internal combustion because it does not require that advanced research. Which then begs the question, when this duplicant comes out of the printing pod, do we put him into the digging? Or do we put him into advanced research? I don't think we put him into the advanced research because there's no way we're going to get a duplicant that is going to have a 10 research. So Frankie is still going to be much quicker at doing the research. We've already queued the power requirements on the research station, and as soon as we're done with that, I think we're going to throw down our coal generator down by our metal refining station. We only have 1,200 grams of coal, so I don't think it makes sense to run the coal for all of our power needs, especially considering it looks like we're going to have dupes without anything else to do. In fact, while they wait, let's set up some more lower priority digging commands. All right, Frankie is done with jumbo battery, so I think we're going to take the opportunity to switch out the battery with a jumbo. We will waste the time in deconstructing this battery, but we will not deconstruct this one. That way there's no loss in power. There's more coal over here, and if we have the opportunity to switch over to permanent coal generation, I think we will. We'll never have the smart battery unless we're literally waiting for a long time for these eggs. And since the dupes don't have anything else better to do, it's probably worth getting this coal. But we will set it at a lower priority. So something else I've noticed as I watched cycle 2 to go to 3, they didn't stop to eat. So apparently the downtime is also for food. So I think what we're going to do is going to throw one little downtime here so that they go eat. And then we'll remove the downtime for another 2 cycles. Because obviously if they made it to cycle 3 without eating, we're okay. This is awesome. It is cycle 3 and this is the first time our dupes have eaten. Now they only consume 1,000 calories per cycle, so you can go a decent amount of cycles without them eating. This is not necessarily recommended, but the way I see it, you've got almost 4,000 calories stored up, which means you can go almost 4 cycles without eating. Let's go ahead and remove that mealtime and not doing anything silly like eating when they should be working. All right, Frankie just completed the coal generator. We'll go down and set that up. Let's go ahead and get the egg cracker ready. So as soon as we do have an egg, we can crack it and grab the shell. Look at this. It's an egg. We need to go get that egg. It's going to be a little bit of extra building and digging, but it's going to be well worth it. We also have our jumbo battery installed. And to clarify the previous example, the jumbo battery leaks 2 kilojoules per cycle, but it has a 40 kilojoule capacity. So when you do the math, that's like a 5% power leakage. When you do the math over on the single battery, the power leakage here is about 10% because it is leaking 1 kilojoule per cycle over a capacity of 10 kilojoules. So we'll take the 5% over the 10%. All right, Frankie just completed the egg cracker research, so we will put the egg cracker down. Catalina now has access to the egg. We'll allow her to keep digging it out because we may need that muck root. Our new printables have come available. Now this is where we get really lucky or not lucky. For instance, if they both were not allowed to do any digging, that would be bad. Now between the two, I think we're going to grab Bert because Bert here has athletics, which means they'll move a little bit quicker than Travaldo. Welcome to the colony, Bert. By the way, buddy, sorry about your party, but we don't eat on this colony. But you know what we do on this colony? We dig. And just to be sure Bert does the right thing, we will go into our priorities and make sure that he knows his job is digging. I noticed Catalina came back to the ration box and dropped off some muckroot. No, Catalina. We don't do that. In fact, we'll put it on a priority of 1, just in case there's absolutely nothing left for them to do. Then they can go bring the muckroot for the, once every 3 cycles that the dupes eat. But this egg cracker, though. Oh, we are cracking all the eggs. I've also realized we've had the rock crusher for, I don't know, a half a cycle now, but we have not began to crush anything. So I think it's time to put this into play, but I don't want to put it here because then that will be closing that corridor up. So I think we're going to throw it right here next to the oxygen diffuser. Wire it up. And that way we can get our lime ready and our iron ready as soon as Bert breaks into here so we can grab our iron. All right, we've finished our first coal generator, but if memory serves me correctly, the metal refinery takes 1,200 watts. So we're going to want 2 coal generators. So we'll throw the next coal generator right here. And because it's 1,200 watts, we're not going to be able to use regular wire. We're going to need conductive wire to make sure we don't have any burnouts. So we know we're going to need some conductive wire. So we will get this at the very end once we have the metal refinery all done and ready. Just in case the regular wire works, which I don't think it's going to give it enough juice, but we will try it out anyways. Now, Frankie finished plumbing, and so we're kind of waiting for some advanced research. But it would be a mistake not to queue these up, because Frankie can knock out the novice research of refined renovations and be ready whenever they do get the advanced research. If we finish this in time, we'll go ahead and knock out the novice research for advanced power regulation as well, just in case we do end up needing that conductive wire. With our rock crusher done, we can see here that 5 kilos of eggshell will give us 5 kilos of lime, so we're still going to need some more eggs. Found another one up here, hiding behind this shine bug. So we're going to dig up here and grab it too. And because we have this egg cracker on just keep cracking eggs, well, eventually we'll have enough lime. So I made the mistake of plugging in the coal generator to a wire, which means the coal generator would start generating power even though it has nowhere to go and using our precious coal. So we've disabled it for now, and we're also disabling this one as well. Bert has given us the beautiful ore. Now, we could wait for the metal refinery to refine this iron ore, but there's no need. We don't need but a very little bit of iron. We might as well just use the rock crusher, do it from here. While we're waiting for our dupes to scale up, it's time to put our beautiful liquid pump into place and the liquid vent. So we'll just go ahead and throw the liquid vent here and then line everything up. I think it's going to go this way and then maybe this way. I'm not sure. This is probably going to take some adjusting, but this is my best guess for now. We will also need to provide some power, and that will come from the coal generators itself. Now, because the coal generator is disabled before they loaded it, I'm going to go ahead and re-enable it, get it all loaded up with coal, and that way it is fully loaded and ready by the time we put the metal refiner down. We're getting really close with Frankie, only 330 skill points to the next. And look at this, Frankie earned a skill point. Advanced research, now we are ready to go. We've got smelting queued up, shouldn't be very long now. My guess is we're going to be able to do it in cycle 6. Not too shabby. All right, we're about to head into cycle 6, which, you know, every 3 cycles the dupes have to eat. And I don't think we're going to be able to do it before they go hungry. So unfortunately, I think we're going to have to waste a time on the schedule for them to eat next cycle. I almost forgot, we are also going to need the kiln. We could have knocked this out a little bit earlier. Luckily, I don't think it's going to hold us back any. By the time Frankie finishes the research, we should have this kiln finished and some coal already made into refined carbon. Alright, with the dupes eating for the second time this game, it's time to remove their mealtime. Now, I've never made a kiln out of copper ore. I'm assuming it won't get too hot before creating just a little bit of refined carbon. We will see. It looks like our limitation is definitely going to be the eggshells. It's going to be a little while. All right, we've finished research on the metal refinery, and in it goes. That's pretty good. We have the metal refinery down in 6 cycles. I'm wondering if it would have been quicker if we would have started with ranching, and so we could have ranched hatches to get their eggs quicker. I'm not sure. We'll see where this speed run finishes up as, but with the metal refinery done so soon, and while still waiting for lime, I think we can go ahead and upgrade this to conductive wire. We've also found some other eggs, but unfortunately they are behind this abyssalite and we don't have a level 2 digger yet. Soon, maybe? We're also exploring into these areas, hoping that maybe this shine bug will eventually lay another egg, as with this one down here, and we will keep exploring while we have the time to burn. What would be really good is if we can get some other eggs other than shine nymph eggs. The shine nymph eggs only produce 100 grams of eggshell, whereas most other critters produce 1,000 grams of eggshell. We're up to 1,300 grams of eggshell. We're getting there, but we just finished research on our conductive wire. We have a little bit of regular copper wire ready, which I don't know if this is enough. Barely enough. 25 kilos remaining. Now that we're just waiting on 10 kilos of lime, we can make sure that we have all the other materials ready. Since it's been another 3 cycles, I guess we got to let the duplicants eat. Give them a quick downtime right here. Okay, so I realized they weren't looking for stuff for the bathroom. That's their nose. It seems something smells bad. Bert? Frankie? Quick update, about 3/4 of the way through cycle 9. We have our 70 kilos of iron. We have our 20 kilos of refined carbon. We're just waiting for the lime. And right now we're at 1,400 grams, 86 more 100 to go. We definitely don't need more dupes, but our cycle 9 printing pod came with a shine nymph. Maybe it can help produce some eggs. We're breaking into this Draco area. I'm assuming eventually this thing's gonna lay an egg. Should be soon, huh? As luck would have it, I had the plumbing lines flip-flopped, but further luck is we have plenty of time waiting for these eggs to flip-flop these guys. Alright, all is right in the world, and as you can see, we actually have idle dupes. We've done all the digging we can as far as getting through this abyssalite break. I'm still searching for other areas that there might be critters that will eventually lay eggs, and right now I don't see too many. There is this one Pacu. Guess while we're waiting, we can go get into this Pacu, just in case it also lays an egg. We have the egg cracker set on 9 priority, so as soon as any of these eggs pop anywhere that the dupes can get to, they will go grab it. There's an eggshell, a 2,000 gram eggshell. Unfortunately, it's behind this abyssalite. And Bert is close. He's at 3844 out of 5204. Coming back here to look. It looks like the fry eggs are definitely the best bang for the buck at 2,000 grams. We're about to turn into cycle 12, so once again, time to let the dupes eat. Frankie's found another fry egg. Let's get that egg cracked, Frankie. No, we're not eating male lice right now. This is what I get for allowing them to eat. Beautiful Sweetle eggs. Just as soon as Bert gets upgraded, we're getting so close, 4,500. Another thing that we could have done, we've got our Cycles 12 printing pod available, is we could have gotten a dupe that started with the level 2 digging. That's definitely one way to increase the timing. I still think, though, with all the eggs that we have on the map right now, we'd still be a bit short, so I don't know if it would have actually saved us too much time. I don't necessarily believe that we need another dupe, so I guess we'll just grab the dirt. Bert just leveled up, and now we are able to get the rest of the eggs that were behind that abyssalite. Another hatch has blessed us with a beautiful hatchling egg. Thank you, buddy. Catalina is producing our first 5 kilos of beautiful lime. We are 3,300 grams of eggshell away, and Bert is on the way to get even more. Those couple of Sweetles have brought us up to 3,800 grams. We're 1,200 away. We're just about to pop cycle 15, and we'll finally be able to get this eggshell right here, which will bring us right over. I think cycle 15 is going to be it. We have the 5 kilos of eggshell. We're about to do it. I'm hoping that we'll be able to get it finished within cycle 15. I think that's a strong starting record. Nicola is bringing the lime over to the metal refinery. I've got the enable command on the coal generator. Let's increase its priority to a 9 as well. And let's make some steel. The coolant is going into the metal refinery. As soon as the coolant is prepared, a dupe should come by and make that steel. Little things that I've learned in this run. I should have had the metal refinery all primed with coolant already. It's not going to take very long, but it's still seconds off of what could have been my personal best record. All right, it has enough coolant. Now the metal refinery says there's a work errand out, and Catalina decided there was something better for her to do. Where are you going? We already have enough refined carbon, Catalina. Okay, this is plumb ridiculous. She left again. We're going to go to put top priority on this. I believe it's because Catalina's priorities were set on supplying being higher, and Nicola's over there operating the wheel. Should have had it disabled in time as well. And there it is. Our first piece of steel. I'm going to say 15 cycles and 3/4 is now my personal best record. I'll try again in probably a month or two. This is extremely fun. I mean, we were able to accomplish quite a bit in 15 cycles. We go into screenshot mode, we can zoom all the way out. We dug up a bunch trying to get after those eggs, but it seems like the eggs are definitely the limiting factor. What else could we have done better? I don't know, but I am interested in hearing what your comments are. I'd love for you to take a stab at it too. I think this is one of the more fun challenges I've heard of, and can't wait to hear what some other best records are. I had an absolute blast making and playing this challenge. I hope you had as much fun watching it. Talk to you soon.